I still get chills thinking about that afternoon in Riverside Park, right here in our little suburb outside Chicago, the kind of place where everyone pretends to know everyone. But when push comes to shove, folks just look the other way. Little Max was only 9, with that clunky brace on his leg from a bad car accident last year that left him hobbling like an old-timer. And there he was, swinging alone while these two punks, Derek and Chris, circled like sharks smelling blood. Max's mom, Lisa, she was right there on the bench, clutching her coffee cup so tight her knuckles went white, feeling that gut-wrenching mix of rage and fear, the one where you want to scream, but worry it'll just make your kid a bigger target. It started innocent enough, or at least that's how those bullies always play it. Derek, the ringleader with his slicked back hair and that smug grin from being the HOA president's kid, he'd been gunning for Max ever since the family moved in. Jealous maybe cause Max's dad had called out some shady land deals at the last community meeting, stirring up bad blood that trickled down to the playground. "Hey, Tin Man, click your heels 3 times and maybe you'll walk straight," Derek yelled, his voice dripping with that fake tough guy sarcasm. And Chris was the follower type, laughing too loud to cover his own insecurities from getting picked on back in middle school. He mimicked Max's limp, strutting around like it was the funniest thing since Saturday cartoons, drawing giggles from the other kids who didn't know better but joined in cause cruelty's contagious when no one's stopping it. Max just stared at the dirt, his little hands gripping those swing chains like lifelines, fighting back tears cause he knew showing weakness would only fuel the fire inside. Though, his mind was racing, wondering why the world always picked on the ones already down. Why his brace made him a joke instead of just a kid trying to play. Lisa stood up halfway, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. She'd been through this before. School admins shrugging it off as boys being boys. Neighbors whispering about how the accident was somehow her fault for not watching closer. And now here in the park, with parents scrolling their phones or pretending to chat, avoiding her pleading eyes like she was the problem. "Leave him be," she finally snapped, her voice cracking just a bit. But Derek turned with that mocking bow. "What? You gonna call the cripple patrol, lady?" The words hit like a slap, and Chris clapped like it was a show, their laughter echoing, turning the whole playground into this cruel echo chamber where Max felt smaller than ever, his throat tight, wishing he could vanish or fight back, but knowing his leg wouldn't let him. And just as the taunts peaked, with sand kicking up toward Max's shoes and the other kids pointing, that's when the rumble started, faint at first, like distant thunder on a clear day, but growing, vibrating through the ground, making everyone pause mid-cruelty. Then bam, engines roaring louder, chrome gleaming under the sun as this pack of bikers, maybe 50 strong from the local Iron Wolves chapter, rolled in deliberate and steady, their leather vests patched with eagles and chains, boots hitting the pavement like they owned the place. Lisa pulled Max close, her instincts screaming danger, but something in their eyes steady, not wild, held her back. The leader, this burly guy named Hank with a salt and pepper beard and scars that told stories of his own rough road, killed his engine first, the silence dropping heavy as he scanned the crowd. "Who's messing with the little guy?" he growled, voice like gravel under tires. And suddenly Derek's smirk faded, Chris shuffling back, their bravado crumbling, cause these weren't playground toughs, these were men who'd seen real fights, real pain. And Hank, well, turns out he'd overheard the commotion while riding by, reminded him of his own kid brother who got bullied years ago over a stutter, left with scars deeper than skin, fueling Hank's quiet vow to step in where others wouldn't. Hank crouched down to Max's level, his massive frame somehow gentle. "Hey buddy, name's Hank, you okay?" And Max, wide-eyed, whispered back, "They always do this." "What?" Hank's eyes softened, tapping Max's chest lightly. "'Cause they don't get it, kid. Real tough is what's in here, not picking on the braced-up warrior like you." Turning to Derek and Chris, his tone sharpened like a blade. "You two think tearing down a kid makes you big? Nah, it just shows you're small, and trust me, life's got bigger lessons coming if you don't wise up." One of the younger bikers, scarred from his own childhood battles with polio, shared his story quick and raw. "I was you once, brace and all, got called names that stuck. But I learned, you don't add to the hurt, you stop it." The words hung there, shifting the air, as the bikers formed a loose circle, engines idling like a protective growl, and for the first time, Max felt seen, not pitted, his small voice piping up. Just stop. I don't need sorries. Just leave me be. Derek muttered some half-baked excuse. We were joking, man. But Hank shot back with a wry chuckle. Joke? That's what cowards call it when they get called out. And as the punks slunk away, tails between their legs, the park transformed. Kids who laughed before now approaching Max timid-like. "Wanna swing with us?" And Max, draped in Hank's oversized vest like some knight's armor, actually smiled, tentative at first, then real, his laughter bubbling up as Hank hoisted him onto a bike for a slow lap around the grass. Engines purring in celebration, Lisa's tears turning from helpless to grateful, whispering, "You're my hero, kid." The bikers didn't stick for pats on the back. They revved up and rolled out, leaving echoes of thunder and a lesson etched deep. Sometimes strength shows up in leather, not suits. Roaring against the quiet cruelty we all ignore. But here's the thing that still nags at me: were those bikers right to roll in like vigilantes? Or does that just scare folks more than it helps? You know, blurring lines between justice and intimidation in a community already fractured by petty feuds like HOA power plays? What do you think? Was it true heroism or overstepping that could have gone wrong? Drop a comment below with your take. Share if you've seen something like this. And hit subscribe if stories of everyday courage hit home your thoughts. Keep these real-life tales alive.